I'd like to call the Recreation Commission meeting to order, March 11th at 7 p.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item number 3, roll call. Commissioner Rostelli.
Here.
Commissioner Cook.
Here.
Commissioner Walker.
Here.
Commissioner Rice.
Here.
Commissioner Hunter.
Here.
Commissioner Hunt. Here. Commissioner Pepchek.
I'd like to make a motion to excuse Commissioner Pepchek.
I'll second it.
All right, motion made by Commissioner Walker to excuse Commissioner Pepchek, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 4, the approval of the agenda on March 4th.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda for March 4th.
Second.
Okay,
All in favor?
because it's March 11th, so I don't know how that all.
Oh, March 11th.
Okay. So Jake Rice made a motion to approve the March 11th agenda, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 5, approval of the minutes from the regular meeting, February 4th, 2025.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda for.
I'll second that.
Okay, so the approval of the minutes were motion to approve by Commissioner Walker, seconded by Commissioner Rice. All approved? All in favor?
Second by,
Motion carries. Phew. Item number 6, the Fraser Sidewalk Gap Questions and Answers.
All right. Well, thank you all for your time tonight and for making room for me on the agenda. My name is Ashley Jankowski. I'm an associate planner with McKenna. Since the fall, I've been working with your engineers at AEW with City of Fraser staff to engage the Fraser community around sidewalk planning in the community. So for some context, in 2024, Fraser was awarded grant funding from SEMCOG's Complete Streets and Corridor Safety Planning Program. With this funding, Fraser is working to assess and strategically address its sidewalk gaps with the goal of improving connectivity and accessibility and just improving well-being for all. The city had already a good map of its known sidewalk gaps, so that part was done. Our job since the fall has really been about listening to community members and hearing from them in terms of, how they use the sidewalks, where the gaps are that are impacting them most, and where we should really think about channeling some of this grant funding. And so that's what I'm here to share a little bit more about tonight, is to tell you the engagement that we've done, talk about some of the findings, and give you all an opportunity to validate those findings, add to those findings as we are in these preliminary planning stages. So you might see that board over there. That was from one of our engagement events. So we've had 3 different in-person and asynchronous engagement opportunities. The first is an interactive project website where we've had a ton of information about the work that we're doing, as well as a public comment map activity where folks can move around a map of Fraser and add in pinpoints for areas that they like to walk or areas that have sidewalk gaps that they want to have addressed. And we got 62 unique comments on that. We developed and distributed a digital sidewalk survey to get a sense again of where folks' priorities were for sidewalk gaps and what the quality of sidewalk gaps were in places where people like to walk. And that received 84 responses. And then finally, we hosted an in-person sidewalk gap activity at the Future Fraser Open House, which was for the new zoning ordinance, but we also decided to implement some activities for the sidewalk gaps, and I think we had about 12 folks show up. Smaller number, but that's still all right. And so we've been listening to folks for these past few months. And now our next step is to gather with different leaders within the city. So we, last month, we had a city administration working group with your
It was with the city manager, our DPW, myself, and obviously the engineers from McKenna and AEW, and we discussed the findings of what everything says in the little handout that we gave everyone.
Yeah. So we gathered city administration. Last week I was at Planning Commission, and now I'm at obviously the Recreation Commission. And so we're on this share out tour where we want to share what we learned and hear what you think. So in terms of some of the key findings, and all of this is in the packet that you have in front of you. Some of the high level things that we learned about the Fraser community is that folks are mainly using sidewalks for recreational and relaxation purposes. You don't have a ton of folks necessarily using sidewalks to walk to work or walk to errands just yet, which is okay. Current sidewalk gaps in the community are disproportionately affecting vulnerable community members, such as elderly community members, community members with young children, whether they're using strollers or their kids are on scooters or bikes, and residents who use wheelchairs. So we're seeing an opportunity to really improve, when we make these improvements to sidewalks, to keep accessibility in mind. And finally, these general themes that we were hearing from folks are that these high traffic corridors could really use some sidewalk investment, as well as connections near schools, near parks, and within and between neighborhoods. Again, just kind of echoing what the purpose of this project, to improve well-being, improve connectivity, and ensure that sidewalks are serving the people that need them most. In addition to these themes, we heard some specific corridors within these activities and in our conversation with the city administration. These corridors include Mulvey Road, major roads and arterials such as the Mile Roads, Hayes and Kelly, connections near schools, connections near parks, and some residential streets. And these were, if you see in your packet, there's a map where you see, a map of sidewalk gaps and some purple glow. Those are the areas where we received the most feedback from folks. And so those really stood out to the city as places where we might want to channel some of those investments. And so my question for the commission today is, do these sidewalk gap priorities, these corridors that the city has identified in these general themes, does that align with your goals at the Recreation Commission? Does that align with your experience as a commissioner and as a community member? Or are there additional gaps that we should be prioritizing in these early planning phases?
So I have a question. I was at the meeting here at City Hall with all the maps and all the different questionnaire things like that. And they were talking about, should we spend the money on sidewalks or should we spend the money on repairs? Is that still one of the things they're talking about, or is it just putting sidewalks in?
My understanding is that the funding is just for new sidewalks rather than the maintenance of existing sidewalks, although we did hear through our engagement that there are areas where maintenance, like cracks or tree roots, are becoming an issue. But I think right now it's just new sidewalks.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I do agree with the Hayes Road, because I see many people trying to walk down Hayes Road, and it's nothing but grass and dirt and a little path, and you're walking, and I see a lot of people walking with strollers and things like that. From my ear, just from the sub I live in over there, and there's a lot of young people, so they're using it to walk to Walgreens, 7-Eleven, the gas station that's going up over there. And it's difficult because they have to cross the street if they want to walk on, sidewalk. So I'm happy to see, hopefully, some of these areas, start getting sidewalks.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Well, I was just going to comment that when we met and discussed it, it was obviously during wintertime, and our DPW pointed out that they see a lot when they're plowing the streets, just like you observed, is a lot of people will walk in the street, and it causes issues with our DPW plowing the streets, makes it unsafe, and same with the police. They said the same thing. I'm sorry, that was the other person that was attended. It was our head of our police. And she also said it's a liability and it's dangerous when they're trying to come down a street and you have multiple people walking down the street rather than having a perfectly good sidewalk to walk down. So I just wanted to point that out. That was another thing that we found out, that besides just walking in the recreation, it was a risk for our DPW and our police with people walking in the street. So just wanted to add that little part to it. Another thing that I pointed out during it, if you don't mind me saying, is I was looking, because of obviously recreation, I looked towards our schools and our parks. And though it's not completely absent of sidewalks, I felt like even our schools and our parks, there's a lot of areas where we're missing sidewalks that could add to getting people to be able to walk to our parks and to be able to walk to our school. There's a couple of sections of disconnect that I thought that would be a big help for the residents of Fraser.
Yes, I know there's like a big disconnect, I think, by McKinley Park over there. One side of the street, there's missing a big chunk of just stops.
That's that whole area, though.
Yeah, it is.
It's just nonstop. My block is like half sidewalk and half not. My kids can't even go around the whole block anymore.
I mean, even if you look at the map, I feel like even Steffens, our main park, our biggest park, has a lot of missing sidewalk around it.
Yeah.
So, again, that was me being recreation and looking at the two things of schools and the fields and the
Yeah.
parks.
I just wish more people would have showed up that one night, because there was probably maybe 12, maybe 14 of us that night. And I know we did put some pins on that map, too.
Yeah, we've captured them. So we've
Yeah.
since taken them off because the map is moving around the city.
Yeah.
But, right, in doing engagement in January is tough to get folks to come out. But that's
Right.
why we were really excited with the high response rate for the survey and for the comment map. So we tried to fill in some of the other opportunities to engage people.
So with the money, the grant money that we have, roughly how much sidewalk are we able to get with that money? Like miles, or, I don't know,
Yeah,
kind of like how many of those squares are you?
Yeah,
know, just-
that I would have to double check. I can certainly check with our engineers and write back to you. Not sure. I don't know if it's like
Okay.
miles and miles, but
Yeah, I was just wondering, like, is it enough to make a dent in some of this, or?
certainly not enough to cover all of the gaps. And that's why we have to go through this prioritization exercise. But the outcome from all of this will be to, one, get some new sidewalks in, but also to have a priority list of these sidewalks so that as more funding comes or as it can get onto capital improvement plans, that list is ready to go. And so, but I can get an estimate.
Oh, that's fine, I just
Yeah,
was
no,
wondering
that's
if it
okay.
was a lot of sidewalk we're gonna get with this grant, or just like bits and pieces here and there, and kind of, mismatching things together, like things have been done in the past. Not with sidewalks, but other things.
Yeah, I can check.
Okay, thanks.
And that was it. I just, they wanted to meet and talk to our Recreation Commission to try to get your guys' feelings being recreation. And obviously, as this states, as a lot of people are using the sidewalks for recreational use, so they figured, and I agreed, that it would be great to bring the B4 here to talk about it a little bit, to get your views, to get your opinions, being as important as a recreational issue, to be able to walk throughout the community, and also, to be able to get to our parks and schools. So I wanted at least the opportunity for any questions you may have or answers. And going forward, if you have any, input on it, I can forward anything to them so that they have it and they can answer. And I would be more than happy to be the middle person.
Okay.
Try to-
Do they have a timeline of when to start it?
Yeah, that's a really great point. So our next steps for this month and beginning of April are to set up some more discussions with seniors, business owners, and folks from the schools to get some more information around priorities. And then come May, that's when we'll be developing the list of priority areas. And so I imagine, summertime is when this would begin.
And then it's mostly, you're going to prioritize the darkest purple.
Yeah, so that's where we heard a lot of the comments
Okay.
for the city administration. Their priorities are, Mulvey Road, the major roads and arterials, so Miles Road, the mile roads, Hayes and Kelly, And then with remaining funding, connections near schools, parks, and some residential streets.
Okay.
And I think as far as priority, that's up to city administration at the end of it to make the decision of where the new roads would go and what takes priority. This is just what people filled out that said that that was their top priority,
okay.
what they
All
felt
right.
was the biggest disconnect of gaps.
Okay.
So question is, everything in red where there's missing sidewalk?
That's correct.
That's what I thought. Okay.
And you'll see that some of those areas have, only one side of sidewalk in.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so
Those are
at
both.
first glance, it could be a little bit misleading, but yeah.
Okay.
And how do we look as far as compared to some of the cities you go to as far as the gaps? Do we look like we have a lot more than most cities? Is it pretty much because we've, maybe we're an older city or how we were built originally?
Yeah, I think my understanding is that as these newer suburbs have, these newer subdivisions have been developed, those have been required to put in sidewalks, and so there are some areas of the community that have been established earlier before sidewalks were required, and that's common in any city that continues to grow outward. And so you'll see, like, for example, the bottom right hand of the city is all covered. Those are newer areas where sidewalks were already developed. So I would say that's very common.
And one last question in case I'm missing it on here. It said, how much was the grant funding?
The grant itself,
Yeah.
total federal funds were $36,832 and a local match of $8,167. So a total of 45, but a mix of federal and match.
Okay. All right.
Any more questions for Ashley?
No, it'd be interesting to see, does anybody in the audience can you answer questions from the audience? Do they have a question? Okay. No, I think it's good. Like I said, I was in attendance of that meeting here and learned a lot about a lot of different things.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 7, volunteer group reports. 7A is the Fraser First Booster Club.
Vanya Apps, Fraser First Booster Club. I'm here to just I'll bring you our usual updates, is that we have a meeting at Hanover Grove's Community Building on March 19th at 6:30 for our general meeting. But on March 12th, we're going to start cutting material for, I hate glasses, you're blurry when I have them on, or can't see the paper when I don't. But anyways, on March 12th, we're going to be cutting material for Weave Piece. Weave Piece is the art structure from the artist Michelle Hansen, and we're going to put that over here at Diamond One in Stephens Park for about 3 weeks. We hope it'll stay constructed in that 3-week period. There'll be an opportunity for the community to come together and put their peaceful intentions on it. And it's kind of a fun, kind of a neat art piece to have. And hopefully it'll bring attention to the area that we are hoping to create a community space, a band shell, and some walk paths there.
Do you have a date, like a month here?
Okay, so I'm shooting for April 5th and 6th to construct it, and then throughout that week, we'll be weaving it. And really, the weaving doesn't take that long, so we'll see how many volunteers come and show up. That's gonna dictate how quickly it gets put up. But the 5th and 6th is a weekend. I think I'm gonna have better luck getting volunteers to construct it on the weekend. And I hope this week I'm going to meet up with Laura, hopefully the end of this week or first part of next week, and we'll kind of map it out, just so we have a general idea real clear. But I talked to Chris and I talked to Rob, and everybody was okay with it being at Diamond One for that period of time. So somewhere between the 6th of April to the end of April, it'll be in place. And once I know for sure we have it up, I'll publicize it more and look for, some sponsorship for the material and stuff like that. So if anybody has any questions, fire away. I'm ready for you.
Come cut fabric tomorrow or
Yep,
cut
tomorrow at
material
What time?
tomorrow.
Grove, 6 o'clock.
6
I'll
o'clock.
have some.
Our grandma going?
I think she is planning on coming.
I think you
Yes.
should come too.
Yeah, she's planning on coming. And, yeah, it's a nice time to just kind of, get to communicate one-on-one instead of at a meeting. And the cutting of the material is always interesting, always interesting. So, yeah, hopefully that's enough, and hopefully, if not, Joanne Fabrics has still got some fabric for me to grab up, so.
When you said April 5th and 6th to construct, is that like the actual thing you're going to hang the material on?
Yes,
Okay, so
Yes.
those are the 2 days to construct it, and then,
I'm hoping we get it done in one day, but
okay,
in case it takes two.
right.
In the last time we did it, it was one day. And the major part of the weaving, we did on that same day once it was up. So I'm giving myself that leeway because this year, under these circumstances, I don't have a solid volunteer base. I'm going to be roping my sons into it and getting commitments that way for this time around. But hopefully, once it starts going up, people will be attracted to it to come and hang their intentions and stuff like that on it. It's really neat. I think everybody will enjoy it, kind of. And so you'll have your marshmallow drop. We'll have somebody at Weave Piece. People can go from marshmallow drop to Weave Piece to hang their intentions, something to see. And for Fraser First Booster Club, it's our opportunity to talk about the space and what we hope to accomplish in our fundraising for that space. Every little bit of that kind of attention helps. So, am I forgetting anything, Laura? I think that's. Oh, thank you. And April 3rd, we're going to have the Ramshorn fundraiser from 5 to 8. So if anybody likes to bake and would like to drop off baked goods, we'd appreciate it. But April 3rd, 5 to 8 at Ramshorn is our next fundraiser. Okay. Thank you, Laura.
all right,
Anything?
everything good?
Anybody else? All right, cool. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Item 7B, Fraser Beautification Club.
Okay, our next meeting is going to be March 26th at 6:30 at Ramshorn. Come join us because we got a lot of good things going on. The hearts came down at the corner of 14 Mile and Utica, and shamrocks went up. Oh, Garfield, whatever, they're all run together. Shamrocks went up, and in April, you look for our next decorations, Echo's next decorations that will go up there. And then shortly after that, the flowers should be popping up, and there'll be the star attractions over there. Also over the weekend, we had a couple people from the Beautification Club dig up some plants from the bank and relocate them over at the Bungarter House. So it's kind of nice to say, we took these in memory of the bank and put them in another good location in the city. So I can't wait for them to bloom and see them come up, and I think that's about it.
That rehoming of the plants was with permission.
We don't have to say that.
Yeah, we do. People will be over there digging stuff up.
There's not much left to dig.
Okay, so, item number 8, the administration report.
So the first thing I was going to talk about was our Senior Activity Center. I spoke that obviously we have a new person over there, Allie, and we have kind of re-imaged and started fresh for the Senior Activity Center. So I wanted to kind of go over a few things that we're doing because I know that before I didn't talk about it a lot. So I wanted to kind of fill you guys in on everything that has been going on over there. And So in February, we did a Valentine's Day luncheon. On the day of Valentine's, we set a limit for 50 people. It was a sellout. We did it for $5 a person. And American House supplied food, and we also went to Schatz Market, and we had subs and pasta salad, and American House did salad, like regular salad, and masticholi. We also had different beverages, coffee, water, and lemonade. That went real well, but again, we had a sellout for the Valentine's Day luncheon. We scheduled an MGM casino trip. That also sold out. A sellout for that is 13 people, including our bus driver is 14 people. So that was a sellout. So our attendance is growing, our events are growing, and we're doing a lot more over at the Senior Activity Center. Not sure if I spoke about it last month, but I know one of the days we were counting our attendance between 9 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. We had about 102 people come in. So things are growing there. Another reason that we're looking to open the building longer until 4 o'clock, much needed. Right now, we're trying to find different instructors and different activities we can do to fill the hours of the day. Because right now, we run events run classes and events and everything hour by hour. So it's 9 to 10, 10 to 11, or it's 9 to 11, 11 to 2. So or 11 to 1. So it's a busy, happening place where our attendance is growing. But I also wanted to comment that we did a St. Patrick's Day luncheon for next Monday. That also sold out of 50 people. So that will be on next Monday. We already put out an Easter luncheon. I think it's for Wednesday, April 16th. And that one is already filling up quickly. We also started a newsletter in February that I believe I spoke about, but we started a newsletter and it comes out monthly, a 4-page paper for the activities, the information of the Senior Activity Center. So we put that at the front counter and we give it over to our senior housing. So all the seniors have all the phone numbers and important events, dates, and costs for all of things going on in our Senior Activity Center. That has been our focal point, or at least my focal point lately. We changed our bus policy, Allie and myself, to make things more clear. We changed things to make it easier for the seniors. There was some confusing verbiage, and so we updated the policy completely for that. We also changed the bus service so that it now goes from Monday through Thursday, and it also goes from 9 to 3 p.m. Before, from what we read, our policy said it goes Tuesday through Thursday from 9 to 1. So we expanded the hours, expanded the days. We are looking to expand to occasionally have Fridays for the seniors for the bus policy. We are also booking another event for May, which is the Detroit Princess Cruise for a lunch. That would be on May 15th.
So question, do you ever think about opening up more, like, instead of just 50 people for the luncheons, maybe doing 75 to see if you get that kind of a take, or?
Right now, during the weekdays, it's a little tough because we have Meals on Wheels in there. So we have
Okay.
to make sure that there's enough room for their volunteers. There's enough room for the people who want to still do the Meals on Wheels program and for the people to come in and deliver the food. So we have to make sure that there's still seating enough for them so that we're not encroaching on their space either.
So could you like relocate them for that day or no? I don't know. I've never been to a luncheon, so.
We can, and I'm not sure how they would take it, but I think it's easier not to relocate the Meals on Wheels program.
I mean, just like
because-
move them to that other room.
Oh, as far as, well,
Yeah, not like take them out of the building, just kind of move them maybe.
our issue is that they have a dedicated location with a sink and they need everything
Okay.
by them. That's why it's in our banquet room. So that's where they're allowed to serve it. by their guidelines, by the rules. So that's why we do 50. During Christmas, we ask for obviously, for a special occasion that we can have 70 people for that, which is a full room. So I wanted to kind of comment on a few of those things. So you kind of saw the different activities, different events. We're looking for like Tai Chi instructors, just different things that we can do over at the activities center and to keep the attendance up, to keep the excitement up. Our bus riders are still trying to get used to the easier access they have, the differences that we've instilled in our bus policies and in our rules, and a little bit more of the lax attitude that we have in trying to get people to their appointments. Before, we charged $5 for the same distance, but if it was a doctor's appointment, we charged $5 rather than the $3. So eliminating the $5 to me was an easy step to make it $1 and $3 depending on distance. We're not here to overcharge seniors. We know that they're on a fixed income, and to charge someone more money because they're going to a doctor's appointment seems counterintuitive. So we did the $1 and the $3, and it's still free to get picked up and brought to our activity center. So that's still a free service that we offer. So we're getting a lot more bus riders, we're getting a lot more people at our activity center, and a lot more events.
Question about the senior center too. I did see a flyer or some post on Facebook about a craft show there, and it says like you have to be 55 or 50 and older. Is that like to go to it, or is that to have a table in it? It was kind of misleading, I guess.
So I was going to talk about that next. So
Oh, sorry, it wasn't
no, it's
on your
okay.
little.
Another event that we're doing is we're going to try to open, or we're going to open on a Saturday, which is next Saturday. And we are going to open for a craft show where we're going to have vendors, and then the seniors, anyone 55 and older, can come to walk around, participate. It's a $2 entry fee. Walk around, buy stuff from our different vendors that we're offering in our banquet room. It's something different that we're trying to get. And we also have to give your feedback of what you'd like to see at the Senior Activity Center, and that's something that commonly pops up as a craft show with vendors. So we made it for March, and it's going to be next Saturday, $2 entry fee, and it's for anyone 55 and older, because that's the rules of the building, is you have to be a senior 55 years of age or older.
So even to be a seller, you have to be over that age?
No, I don't believe you would have to be 55 or older to be a vendor, but to participate in an activity, you have to be 55 or older.
So you guys have like lots of people participating as vendors?
Right now, I believe
Because it seems
We
like it's
have
such short notice,
not-
like,
we have 9 or 10 different, and we have been posting about it, or we did post about it, and we did put flyers up at our activity center and sent it over to our senior housing. So we have been advertising for it. We don't put as much on Facebook and stuff like that, because most of the seniors like the physical copy and the flyers, because they normally don't.
So the newsletter is only for the seniors?
Yeah, the newsletter right now is only for
Is there any way we could give it to all the residents every month?
for the
Like
whole
for
city.
Yeah. For
So the city's already
activities
talking about that,
Okay.
to go into a different thing, but the city manager has already spoken about doing a quarterly newsletter for the city that each department would write into.
All right.
So, something that I brought up and she brought up as well, so that is something that
Okay.
the city is going to be doing, so.
I think that would be better than Facebook all the time.
Right, it's just another vehicle
Yeah.
for information to get out there. When I used to do it for a different city, we used to put it inside the CNG's newspaper, and it'd go to each resident. So, again, it's kind of nice, and then you can cut out different activities or phone numbers. So I'm not sure who would be doing that. Right now, our communications person has quit, and so we're hiring a new communications person. So we're kind of in limbo right now. Any other questions about the Senior Activity Center? second thing on the list would be the marshmallow drop. Obviously, that's happening next month. And we'll have two different times right now of 12 o'clock and 12:45, 200 kids each. That'll be going out tomorrow, I believe. And again, we'll do pony rides, the petting zoo, the gift bags for each participant, and the 5 golden eggs. This is kind of where I wanted to ask you guys. You brought up you wanted to do an adult Easter event. I didn't know how you guys felt, so I wanted to bring up the idea to you is, how would you guys feel about doing a third drop for adults? And then the gift bags would be different than the children's one. There still would be golden eggs for it.
Yeah, it would be fun. I mean, something different, a start.
I just, frankly speaking, I thought it would be easier to do that than to reinvent the wheel and do a whole different day for just adults. Now, we can change that accordingly in, years if we want to see something different.
So would it be like after the 12:45 tie?
I
or
was
like?
thinking 1:30 would be it. Now, the only catch of that, doing an adult one, is who watches the children. So I don't know if we would have just separate adults that would come to that. I'm not sure if they would, keep their children there and hope, that it would be for older kids. But we're also going to have volunteers, hopefully not only from the school, but from us, that we'll have people around to be able to watch the kids, not babysit, but be able to watch it and make sure that they're not running towards the parking lot or running away. But it's a quick, for those of you who've seen it, it's a quick thing. You kind of go out and grab marshmallows. It doesn't matter if you grab 0 or a ton. So it's not something that they're going to be completely away from their kids for 10 minutes, a couple minutes.
What day was this? April?
It is April 12th, I think is what it is. April 12th is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, try it. See how it.
I thought even if we had, we'll set our goals high and put 200, but if we got 50 adults, it's still 50 people having a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure yet of what I would want to do in their gift bags or their golden eggs. Maybe it'd be like gift cards to different local businesses, try to support local business. But I don't know, maybe we do put a little bit of chocolate in there. I mean, it's adults trying to have fun and have a good time, but it's, those are the finer details I'm working on this week. But I wanted to bring it up to you guys to see how your feelings are on it, to do a third drop and see if they'll participate. I think they'll have a good time.
I think it'll be fun. Let's try
I
it.
think so.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just tell the helicopter pilot that we're going to do a third drop for adults at 1:30.
Because didn't we last year do 3 drops?
We did 2 drops last year. Yep, when it's based on age. 1 to 5.
Oh, that's right. It was
and
1 to 5.
6
Yeah, it was
10.
like yep.
And to put it on record, you can be 11 or 12 if you want to participate in there. We just trying to put an age on there, just some type of defining markers in there.
So are you going to do kind of like a sign up like you did last year with
Yep.
the list and
For
stuff?
right now, because we don't have the software, it's going to be, it'll be like it was last year online, and then we'll have a wait list, and then I'll do like I normally do, is if anyone lets us know that they won't be able to make it, and I'll send out, emails to everybody asking that they contact me if they can't make it. I'll move people from the wait list over to the actual roster. So,
Sounds like fun. Hopefully it's a nice day.
So, as far as the marshmallow drop as well, is we're going to be putting on there, because we don't have the software, we're going to also ask that the Fraser residents are able to sign up for it first. So they're going to have first access to it, and then we'll put it towards
And
non-residents.
not one person can sign up 10 families?
Technically, I can't stop that, but we're going to take people's honor system that they won't do that. I can't stop people that log onto our website and sign people up. Again, another drawback of not having a.
Right.
So that was going to be one of my questions when we get to number 10, but did you want to, when you're done with your Skyhawks, tell us about your software update?
Yeah, I can just do it right now. I wanted to add something else on there, but as far as the software update, I've listened to different recreation companies, and I've gone through the different meetings with them. I talked to different cities, and I'm coming to the conclusion, or I came to the conclusion that the Civic Plus recreation software is what we should do. There's a few people who use DaySmart, and they kind of are okay with it, but a lot of people in a lot of cities are either switching over to Civic Plus Rec, or they're already switched over. So a lot of cities already use that.
That's the one that costs a little bit more upfront.
Yes, because it's training. It basically, they
Yes.
spend, I think it's 4 hours one day and another 4 hours another day. It's the initialization of starting it out, and then it goes back down to 3,500 with a 5% increase every year. So
Were you able to go forward then and get that?
I put it forward in our capital improvement list, so just waiting to hear back.
Okay.
Any questions about the marshmallow drop?
Nope.
Skyhawks, so I'm sure you saw it on the website, but we're bringing Skyhawks back for the second year. Last year, our spring was the best attended Skyhawks program that we had, so I really want to push it out. I've contacted the schools. I've made different flyers for it, and they would start in April and end in May. And it would be right before the Big Bounce America would come and take its place basically at the park. So as far as timing, it works, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and different age groups for different ones. We have a multi-sport class for different age groups. We have a basketball one, we have flag football in there, and we have a soccer program.
Are you allowed to go into the gym? You talk to the
Oh,
school, right?
so as far as Skyhawks, that will be outside
Okay.
at the parks. But yes, that deal was finalized as far as the schools.
Okay.
Each, our city manager signed it, and Rayer signed it, and so did the schools. So we are able to participate not only in Roseville programs, but they can use the Fraser schools for their programs.
Sounds good.
So we are making slow impacts and increasing and trying to work with the schools more. I'd love to work with the schools in a way that I could do a cornhole league. I think that does real well. But you need an indoor facility to do that. Doing it outdoors with weather and, it's just a disaster. You'd have to constantly cancel games. And it's something we can still do, but you still have to have all the equipment and carry it out, bring it out. So I'd like to use the schools for different things if that opportunity comes up. But right now, we're just going to start out on those couple different programs with Rare. It is still $79 for a class for those, for the Skyhawks program. I've talked to the instructor right now, and we're going to be putting it out there more often, working with him to do summer programming as well. Thursday is when our next meeting is to talk about it. And they're still working to get a grant so that we potentially could have free classes for residents. So, but I wanted to give you guys updates on that one. I was going to list off everything, but I printed out a old one, so I have all old classes, so it doesn't do me any good. But I know that it runs from April to May. I think it's May 12th. So, and we're trying a basketball one, see how that does using our courts. I'm hoping that the basketball one can do well. It is not a program that is jerseys and games. It's not a league. It's exercise, it's learning the sports, it's fun, it's the social things for people, it's to improve them, it's kind of to learn all the different aspects of the sport. So I have seen on Facebook that some people have said that different critiques of it, and it will never be a league as far as Skyhawks program. That's not what they do. I know that we do have different leagues around the city that do their own thing, but this is just kind of an intro to it, I guess you could call it, to learn the sport, to kind of have some fun with some friends, and just to kind of learn some coordination, teamwork, and positive, attitude for it. Any questions about Skyhawks?
Nope.
I wanted to comment one more thing that I didn't have on the agenda real quick, and that was an event that I have this Saturday that you guys probably saw. It was a paint and plant event. It was a craft event. We're going to have it here at City Hall. It's going to be off of a room off of the parking lot there. It was a free event for people to come. We did 20 people per time slot. There's two different time slots, 10:30 to 11:30 and 12:30 to 2. Both of them are just...
Almost sold out.
Yep, almost sold out. So I might put something out there tomorrow that says there's just a couple spots left. I'm going to allow kids to come in, paint a pot any way they want it, and they're going to put the soil in it and seeds, and they can bring it home. We'll have a hair dryer to kind of dry it at the event. And it's just going to be one of those fun little events, like a craft little thing that they can do, bring home, water it, and spend some time, and if they want to, try to keep the plant alive and hopefully have it grow. And basically everything will be provided to them. All they have to do is just show up to the event. And we just ask that they bring painting clothes or a smock or something that they don't mind getting paint on. So again, it'll be here at City Hall. It's the only indoor place that I could think of. Didn't want it in this room. Didn't think it would be a good idea in case we got any paint on the floor. Definitely going to be putting things down to try to keep the floor safe.
You had mentioned about a paint trailer. Is that still a thing that's happening, or was that just an idea you were?
Yep, so I can't contact them for another 6 days.
Oh, okay.
I talked to her, she said March 17th. That was the coloring wall.
Right,
That was a
okay.
trailer, a 26-foot trailer, and they said they're not taking reservations until March 17th. Off the top of my head, I think it's March 17th. So I just have to wait a few more days. And then the bookings will be starting in June. So I'm going to try to call as quickly as I can. That is definitely something that we're interested in and we'd like to run. And that's where obviously a trailer will come in, 26-foot trailer. They'll be painting the mural that the artist does of all things that are Detroit and whatever ideas that she has for this mural. And so there'll be 20 to 25 kids inside the trailer and 20 to 25 kids outside the trailer that can color it. So, but more details will come once I have the date and everything. So just stay tuned for that one.
All right. Anybody have any questions? We kind of answered them as. Yeah. All right. Item number 9, citizen participation.
Laura Lessig, 15201 Fairview. Couple questions. Are there any summer programs that Skyhawks would handle? Number one. And have you thought about other programs for this summer? Because people are starting to plan their summer activities right now. And how did the Family Fun Night go? That was last month. As well as my next question is, in the past, the Recreation Department or Commission was involved in park cleanup. So as the weather gets nice and we're all outside, it's a good idea to just, keep some garbage bags in your car or on your bike and start cleaning up the parks. And so the recreation group had a designated day to do that kind of thing in the parks and make it a fun event for a family to come and clean up the garbage. The other question I had was, and I don't know how soon we're going to start getting our sidewalks gaps fulfilled, but a good way to get that happening here is so that the rec commission can plan some bike events, bike around the city and, do like a scavenger hunt type thing would be nice. So let's get those sidewalks done. Thank you.
Just to answer a couple of those questions. So Skyhawks does do, they'll do summer spring, summer, and fall classes for the city. And during the summer, they do camps, which are a little bit different, but they do camps for the summer. Hopefully they can get a better attendance for that, and we can, we went from spring for Skyhawks that did real well to camp that was pretty quiet. I'm not sure 100% what caused that. I'm not sure if it was a disinterest in Skyhawks, but I'm pretty sure, at least what I would assume or presume, is that a lot of people are either on vacation in the summer. There's a lot of people who already do summer programs in baseball and different programs that they have around the city or through the schools. I think that probably hurts registration numbers a lot. So yes, we're still going to do it. And then, like I said, that they're working on trying to get the city of Fraser a grant so that the classes could be free for anyone who comes, or at least at a discount. As far as the family fun night, a lot of our recreation commission members were able to make it, and they helped do the sign-in and the raffle that we put out for it. I believe the final number was 93, 95 people for it who actually attended. It was well received. A lot of people were asking that we could bring it back. A lot of people were hoping that we didn't wait for a whole year to do another one of those. And we don't have to. We can try to come up with a different idea of.
We can do a glow party.
We can do a different theme for another party and see that if Vintage House has it again. And I do want to give a huge thank you to the Vintage House. I thought they did a great job. It was really well organized, and I thought the food was good and it looked nice, but a lot of kids stayed all the way to the very end, which I was shocked about. We did a raffle of Meijer gift cards, so a local business, and we did a raffle that was well received. We had a DJ who played music, and a lot of people danced to it. So I think a lot of people had a good time with it. Obviously, we'd like to see a bigger number for it of people that actually registered and the people who show up for it. I know that we had a little bit of a snow that day, and maybe that scared people away, and other people who may have forgot about it or found out they had other things they had to do. But Echo ended up calling and texting everyone on that list. So kudos to you for doing that.
We have reasons why they weren't there.
Yeah. So
And to piggyback off of that, about 80% of the people that showed up or that did show up were Fraser residents, because we kind of pulled them as they came in the door too, to just because I know there was a lot of things on Facebook. People are saying, oh, they weren't a lot of Fraser residents, blah, blah, blah. But each person we came, we asked them, we're just taking a poll. Are you a Fraser resident? And stuff like that. And they're like, oh, yeah, we are. We go to this such and such school and stuff like that. So it was good to see that there was a lot of Fraser residents that got in. So.
A lot of Fraser residents. We had a lot of people on the wait list that I contacted. I contacted everyone on the wait list who, while it was active, I was able to either move them in or they didn't reach back out to me. So the interest is there. The event was there. Everything went well. We had a balloon arch for photos for people. That went real well. Allie, our employee for the Senior Activity Center, was the one who did the balloon arch. So she created it, designed it. And again, that was well received. A lot of people did photos. And we had beverages, different beverages for the people. And it just was a great event. Simple event that, with a little right touches and the right organization does well. So something we can do again for one of the months. As far as different programmings, I have a couple of different programs coming up. Obviously, we have the bounce house coming in for a few weeks in May, and then we have the marshmallow drop coming. We'll be doing movie nights again. That was well received as well. We did it 2 different times. I think the last one we sold out of popcorn and beautiful nights. I still have to select the movie for that one. And we have our parade that we will be doing, some of the normal annual activities. I'm going to be trying to do Again, I have a couple different vendors from a conference that I went to last week that I like to reach out to. And then during this M Parks conference that I went to, one of the classes, I guess you can call it, that I attended, they talked about, it was the Detroit Zoo. They talked about how cities can do an event through the zoo and make it cheaper for the people who can attend to it. I thought that would be a really cool and fun event. We're also going to do one for the seniors, just to put that out there, is they have senior days where it's free for seniors to come. So we're going to try to coordinate that. And so there's going to be different activities. They'll be put out a little bit ahead of time. Obviously, we always try to put it out 30 days in advance from the actual activities, but we'll try to get some of what we think will be bigger events out there quicker. Obviously, the marshmallow drop will be released either tomorrow or the goal is tomorrow at least, if everything goes well. We'll have the coloring wall, as we discussed earlier. That's going to be a new event that we're trying to do. I think the excitement will be there for, again, if that does well, we could do it multiple times. Another party, you said a glow night, maybe that's what we do for the Vintage House for another event for that. I'd like to do a couple more, or at least one more, Painting with a Twist night, and do it for, try to do the strictly for Fraser residents, or at least a discount for Fraser residents as long as they can sign up first. But I have to kind of work out the logistics with Painting with a Twist because they're the one who does the sign up. But again, we might have recreation software by then, so maybe we can do it in-house. That was something that was a sellout that a lot of people had a good time doing. I know that last year I tried to do a escape room that didn't do well. I ended up canceling it. I don't know, maybe we try to do another one. Maybe it was a timing thing, but we try it again. And then I'd like to do another educational but fun one. I had Animal Magic. I don't know if I do Animal Magic again, but I'd like to at least bring another vendor who can bring in different things, and we would have it at another banquet hall. Maybe the Lions try to space out where we have different events at. I'm trying to remember.
Another place to reach out to maybe is the VFW hall. They're always good for opening their doors.
And we can try the VFW. That's absolutely fine too. Trying to remember if I got all the different things that were asked. Okay, so hopefully that answers all the questions. Yep.
Okay. Any more citizen participation?
I have different outfits, so it looks like there's more people here. So give me a little bit of a time. I can change into some. Vanya Apps with the Fraser First Booster Club one more time. I want to say, as Chris mentioned, the businesses, but Hanover Grove has been so awesome to open their doors to our club, and because we don't have a space, in the city, like if they would have opened up if we could ever get the senior center, half of it even opened up for community use, that would be great. But in the meantime, Hanover Grove has been just so awesome. They not only, their board has approved Fraser First being there, but they also let us hold our luncheon, which would be nice if the city could do it. But in the meantime, we're happy to host the BCSEM luncheons that bring cities from all over to our city. And Hanover Grove puts on an excellent luncheon. And so I just want to give them a shout out and a thank you, because it's like you can't thank them enough for giving us that space. And I want to say just a little more about Ramshorn, the same thing, these fundraisers that he lets us do. Lee Drulard lets us put it on a Thursday, which is, usually their busy night anyways. And we get 15% of any meals you take out or have there. And then he allows us to do a bake sale, and he allows us to do a raffle. So it really helps out having that facility for these kind of fundraisers, and these businesses that do that, like Myers, that, they help out. It really helps the community these nonprofits and these organizations, roll their balls forward, so it's helpful. I just wanted to say thank you to them, and, come on out April 3rd for that fundraiser, and March 12th if you want to cut some material. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Just kind of make a comment, because she talking about the different communities and, different businesses. That was another idea that I was pondering with and trying to come up with ideas, is going to be a scavenger hunt using local businesses. I thought that would be another way to showcase different businesses, try to get them involved, get different people in there. So that's going to be something that I'm going to work on as well, that wanted to do and didn't have enough time last year. So just made me think about that, and something that I was talking about at our at the conference last week was a scavenger hunt using the businesses. That's a nice little plug for the local businesses that we can do. So
Sounds like good.
Okay, item number 10, commission member reports. We're going to start down with
I'm good.
Commissioner Rostelli. She said she's good. Okay. Commissioner Hunter? All right. Commissioner Rice?
So Chris, speaking of grants, who will we talk to about looking into a grant?
as far
'Cause
as,
I know we don't have a grant writer or anything. So I've been looking at this grant. I think it's like Tony Hawk's Foundation. And they will come in and put like a little skate park in one of the parks.
yeah.
How do we like look into that?
Well, the first thing I would do is talk to the city manager about it, and I don't know if the city is currently looking for like a grant writer. Maybe that's going to be the future of the
That
city,
should be.
or maybe not. But so it's going to obviously start internally, as we'll have to talk to. But there's different organizations, obviously. But the organization you're talking about, I can reach out to them, see what they need from us as far as what we need to provide in order to get that grant passed. Obviously, I would like a little bit of help with it, maybe
Yes.
through city manager or through other people who might be a little bit more skilled in it than I am.
Grant writer.
Yeah, and I can help in any way possible and provide anything possible, but it would probably take different departments and different people to be involved in that. But obviously, always try to get grants. They're out
I
there.
thought that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
The parks, especially maybe even at Stephens. I think that would be
So
pretty cool.
I'm not sure about all organizations, but I know that some organizations require a little bit of upfront stuff from the city. So it might be, what's the budget that we have that we're allocating for it? It might be, how much does this, again, I don't know that program per se, but they might say, how much do you have allocated for it? Or how much does a new skate park cost? So we'll give you $100,000 towards the skate park.
Okay.
If that's what you want to do. So again, I'm not sure of that organization, but I know like the Ralsei Wilson Foundation.
Yeah.
We had to have a lot of things up front of what the budget was, what's the support of the community,
I'm
how
pretty
much
sure
money.
that's what they want. Because I looked into it a little bit. Well, I don't know everything on it, but I think that's pretty much what they want.
Right, and I'm pretty sure right now that the city is looking to get, or to do an RFP, a request for proposal for Stephens Park. So, yeah, it's definitely, if you send it to me,
I will,
I can
for
start
sure.
the process of it,
will,
so
for sure.
it's not a problem whatsoever.
And other than that, we already talked about the schools and Skyhawk, so that's it.
Okay, Commissioner Walker?
Where are we at on our summer vendor shows?
So I came up with a couple of different dates for them. Originally, it was going to be the second Saturday, and to try to get a feel for them, I sent out email to not only the vendors you provided, but to different vendors that already participated, like in our open house, to get feedback on it. Our issue, obviously, Saturdays, like we discussed, are a lot of people have different ones that they go to. At our conference, Oak Park, I know, did a thing about farmers market. They did a class about farmers market. And they were saying, just to kind of go off and do a little sidebar on this, is, if anyone in a 10-mile radius has a farmers market, to please try to not do one and do a pop-up farmers market, because you're kind of watering down potential farmers markets if you have too many. Obviously, I saw that in different cities. Other cities saw that, and that's why farmers markets kind of took a decline on that one. And then they're slowly building themselves up. So their recommendation was, if there's any in the 10-mile radius that you're trying to do one, please don't do one, and send them over to your closest community. Now, obviously, that's different than what we're trying to do. So I've been reaching out, trying to get people to show us the interest and if they're available for us. I have a few that are interested. I think the Allie, our senior activity center clerk, has a few different vendors who might be interested in it. I'm trying to finalize the different days. It was originally going to be the second Saturday of every month for 3 hours, but running into a scheduling conflict with that one. So I'm still trying to work out which days for them, keeping the different vendors, with communication with the different vendors to try to see what they can do. Like I said, Oak Park does theirs on Thursday because they knew that Saturday and Sunday they wouldn't be able to compete. But again, that's a farmer's market, but at the same time, we don't want to do that either. We don't want to have ours on a Saturday and have no one want to come to it. So I've been working on it and trying to get more people in it. I think what the next step is going to be putting it out there and trying to get different interests from different vendors. Seeing if we can get a couple for, a couple of set dates. I was looking to do maybe 3 Saturdays. It'd be like a June, July, August. I'm not sure if I said in the last meeting, but it'd be a June, July, August for it. So, and again, it would be different vendors. It doesn't matter what they are. If we get food vendors, then great, or market, farmers market vendors. It doesn't matter who it is. I just want to do a market so that people have different opportunities to come. And again, from that conference, I kind of took away different ideas that we could do to attract people. It might be doing a yoga class or a health day so that you can do little themes for a different day for the vendors. And you can have reach out to the hospitals and see if they'll come and do blood pressure. And heard a kind of a cool little story about they did blood pressure at all of their ones, and this one person who went to every single one got her heart pressure taken. And at the very last one, it was high. And they told her to go sit down, 15 minutes and come back. And she retested and it was high again. They told her to reach out to a doctor. The doctor told her to immediately go to a hospital. And they found like a couple of aneurysms, and it saved her life. So little things like that, just saving one life would be worth it. So I thought that would kind of be a cool idea to do like a health thing or a yoga class, or maybe we have different local businesses come and you do like a local business day where we get more local businesses involved, that things they sell or different flyers that they have, or, I think the sky's the limit. We start slow. And that was the other thing is, as you probably already know, when you try to do like a vendor or a farmer's market, sometimes it's starting off slow. It might be 10 vendors for a couple hours, and then it might be, the second one might be 15. So we're just trying to get the interest in there of the people that I already had, and then expanding that to the people that we'd like to take and grow it into. So I think the next step is kind of putting it on our website, putting it on Facebook, and maybe even making on different groups and flyers and businesses just to attract more people. Mm-hmm. And if anyone has a different media vehicle or how to contact different vendors, or if there's like a website that has vendors on it more.
There's a vendor page on Facebook.
Yeah.
I do not belong on it, but my friend does.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll ask her and I can email you it.
Yeah, please.
You'd have to be approved. I don't know if they're going to approve people trying to get vendors. Like I could have her post it on there to get more, because it's like vendors helping vendors.
The other thing I was going to do is reach out to the different communities around us and see if they have vendors. And obviously, we're not trying to compete with anybody, but if someone's doing it on a Friday and they have vendors that normally come on Friday, maybe we can get a couple of vendors from them who can come on our Saturday. So we have to be a little bit flexible on it and try to get the interest there. So.
Okay, and I have one more thing. For all the events that we do, can we start taking pictures and posting it that might get people more attracted to it, to see all the fun everyone's having?
Yes, so I wanted to start to do that when we get the new software, because you can put in a disclaimer for pictures, public pictures. Right now, we can't post photos of children and stuff, and I know it's a tricky agreement there. So rather than hand out agreements every time we take a photo, I was trying to wait for this new software so that if they come to the event, it's literally a checkbox that they have to do to make it easier.
Or even on like the Facebook page for the rec, hey, this event went on, if you want to post your pictures here, so then people can still see, and it's not, we're not taking it, they're giving it to us.
We could definitely do that and just put it as a reply. That's
Because, yeah, it would
I did do that last year for like our marshmallow drop, and I was going to do that for our
I did, but I was waiting for him to.
family fun night.
Never posted
so.
anything about it.
That's okay. No, because I knew Chris took pictures, and I thought she'd asked people when you were taking them.
I did,
Yeah.
but
All right.
I was
I just
waiting for
figured I
his
missed it.
post to come out saying, hey, if you have pictures from the dance, post them, and it never happened, so I deleted them all. Except for the picture of us.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's definitely something we can work on, because it was something that I think I was posting the marshmallow drop last year of photos of people, and I posted it, and then our city attorney sent out something about children and taking photos of children at
Yeah.
events. So I got kind of a little bit more like, all right, I'm not gonna post it until we can. I saw in the software a lot of the cities have their own little clause in there about taking photos, and
Yeah.
we'll be posting it. So that's what I was waiting for. So yes, we can definitely do that.
That's it.
Okay.
Sure. So I only have a couple things. I know Earth Day is coming up on April 22nd, and to piggyback off of Laura, maybe we could post something out there or do a sign up or do something, just say, make a poster and say, or a flyer and say, hey, the weekend before Earth Day, get out there and go pick up some garbage. Post your pictures, to this, hashtag it, whatever. And, get out and clean up your city. It doesn't have to be, it's kind of late to try to get volunteers to go to each park and clean up. And I'm not going to do that again because it was a lot of work for just the two of us to do. And with a few volunteers here and there, like I had maybe 3 or 4, and I think it was Echo and somebody else that did, I did Pompo Park and she did Somerset Park. And then there was a couple other, some people did Stephens Park. I'd like to see something like that next year happen and get the Girl Scout troops and the Boy Scout troops and, the volunteers from the high school and middle schools to get some service projects in, but at least maybe just put something out there that weekend before, Earth Day and say, hey, it's Earth Day, let's get out and clean up our earth or something. Just post it and just see if we can get, and maybe hashtag, Earth Cleanup 2025, something, and so that people can post their pictures and say, hey, I got out there and did this.
Yeah, so that was something that I didn't comment on that I was going to comment on. I'm glad that you brought that up. Was last year I did a park cleanup day, and we had to cancel it because of bad weather, but we also didn't get a lot of people interested. Now, what I didn't know at the time was a week before our DPW and the Fraser schools partnered together to do a park cleanup day. So I might talk to our DPW or the schools about all of us kind of getting together rather than do different separate events. And that might be something that maybe I can reach out to the Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts to get some assistance with, and the students, obviously. And we can all partner up because our DPW was brought different equipment, and I would need DPW's help anyway, as they have all the equipment, and so it's definitely something that we'd like to do again, and we can definitely do something like that around Earth Day. But I'll talk to our DPW and see if they have anything already scheduled, or if that's something on their list, or if the schools have.
I was going to say, when we did it, when Echo and I did it, we put it out there. The DPW dropped off yard waste bags, they dropped off some garbage bags, then they came back and picked them up later that day or the next day. But yeah, it would be nice to just even put something out there to say, hey, let's everybody take your time and just go out and walk the neighborhood if it's a nice day and pick up some garbage and take a picture and send it in.
I'd like to kind of partner with DPW and the schools and everyone like that, because it kind of makes it a bigger event, makes it more excitable, kind of is word of mouth of like, oh, you're going to that, I want to go to it as well, or I'll come and help. And then like you said, DPW has all the yard waste,
Right.
you know, so it makes it a lot easier to kind of team up with them. And, but I am glad that you brought it up, because that was something that I was going to do when I got back from the conference, was talk to Rob from our DPW or Joe and see if they already have anything planned, and to kind of piggyback on what they do with the schools, or if that was something that they just did randomly last year. If that's, I'm not, you know, obviously I haven't been here for that long, so I'm not sure if that's something that they continuously do every year, or if that's something that they just did randomly last year. So again, I did one last year. We had bad weather, so I wasn't going to do well anyway. It was cold, raining, and windy. And I'll try to do one again this year. Either the early May, or it'd have to be after, probably a couple different dates coming to mind. So I'll see what they're doing for it.
And the only other thing is baseball diamonds. What are we, a go or no this summer? Are they going to fix them up? Are they going to work on them at all?
We still have a budget conference we have to do with our city council, and I know that Rob has already shared with me that what they have to present before council, that's already in there as far as things that they'd like to see approved. So I don't have an answer yet. I think that they're looking to fix a few things, and, you know, not completely revamp it, but just to make it usable, make it, you know, we're talking about dirt, fixing up holes and stuff like that. So I think they have a 5-year plan for some of the different things at different parks. So I don't have a green light yet. I'm not sure where we stand with it until probably after that budget meeting.
Okay, that's all I have.
That's money that could be made for the city too. Kickball, baseball,
Yep.
summer program.
Obviously, being recreation, I feel strongly that that's something that it's a good investment for the city. Get people using our fields, kind of see that.
Diamond rentals.
Yeah.
I've been told, obviously, that we used to have a good rentals here as far as how many people want to use it, but we can also use it for like kickball and different leagues that we could start. So it kind of opens up the door for things, but we got to obviously get the fields corrected.
20 teams for kickball.
Right. So,
COVID.
right. So again, it opens the doors a lot. Obviously, me not being in charge of parks, but just recreation, it has to go through our DPW to get approval before city council. So I do believe that their goal is to fix a lot of the issues with the fields. So
Do you know when their plan or vision's going to come out of what they have for Stephens Park?
as far as the RFP of,
Yeah, like what they want to put in there, is there
I
like,
think the RFP, what that's going to do is that's going to be one of those things where different companies are going to bid on it of different ideas and different views.
you know when that's going to take place?
I don't, unfortunately. I can get you back that answer and then send it out to the Recreation Commission.
Yes, can we like show up and attend and?
Yeah.
Because
don't
I know
think-
some of the parks around here, when they put in the playgrounds and stuff like that, I wasn't on the commission at the time, but the commission had no involvement in it. And some of the stuff they put in, I mean, look at it, cost them $40,000 because they put a thing too close to somebody's house or whatever it was to move it. And, you know, no other opinion but what this company said, and, you know.
Yeah, I'm guessing if they were to do something as big as a revamp of Stephens Park, let's say, they would probably get community involvement into it. I would presume that that's what they would do. You know, I don't think it's going to be one of those master plan ideas, but it's going to be a big thing, just like the sidewalks and the gaps of getting community input on it. So I don't think it's something that they would shun the resident feedback for it. So at least that's what I would presume.
Okay, thanks.
So mine goes along with the newsletter,
Yeah.
which I'm really happy to see that started to come back. Have you ever thought, or maybe you could propose this, to have maybe even every quarter, so like every 3 months, every 4 months, have I have a list. The Lions, the library, a representative from each of the Lions, the library, the Fraser Goodfellows, the Baumgartner House, the Fraser First, the Beautification Club, have them all to come together and propose what they're planning on for like the next quarter, so that
For the
everybody can be
newsletter?
talking and, well, not only for the newsletter, but then you're not stepping on everybody's toes trying to plan everything all on the same day. So like so I put it as a host a meeting, call it an invitational, just one representative from every little group that we have out there. You could have somebody from the school come, you know.
Yeah, so you're like
'cause they
not
can-
having-
So they can say like when their homecoming is, or when their major events are that, you know, you don't want to plan something on the same day.
Yeah,
And that's not necessarily just because of recreation, but that would be just for like a whole citywide, but you could be like the star.
to be the liaison of
Yeah. you
all
put
things
it
going on in
together.
Fraser. I could propose that to the city and see if we can do something like that. I'm more than happy to meet with anyone who wants to give us their schedule of different events and different activities so that we're not kind of double dipping on.
Right, and so I'm not thinking it's like, you know, you put out an email and you get responses. I'm saying you put out an email saying, we're getting together, bring us your calendar, and we're gonna just, yeah.
Yeah,
Get everybody in the same room at the same time,
Right,
otherwise.
so you don't have like
Otherwise
5
you got
Halloween
all-
events on the same
know.
day, or, you know,
So, anyway, I thought that might be a good idea. Have like just call it the invitational.
yeah, and get different businesses, get different organizations in the schools, and get all the things, and then we could try to do something like
You know, because the Baumgartner has their 150th, you know, celebration coming up. So you don't want to be on September, whatever that day is. So anyway, and then the other thing would be, I forgot to put it onto the agenda for the administration report, but we talked about that kite event, May 10th.
Yep.
So, and I know you already have a flyer ready to go. And if you wanted to put that out, maybe it's time. It's like, 6 weeks away.
And you're okay with that flyer?
Yeah, we were trying to wait for a sponsor to come through for like solid, but,
So it's good to go.
I think so.
And then just come out, right? No registration for it, just come
Oh,
out.
no
Doesn't matter
registration.
how many people, okay,
Yeah,
just want to make
yeah.
sure.
We'll have a limited amount of kites, but, if you want to add that on there, that, free kites are limited, so you really want to promote bringing your own, but
Yep. Yeah,
I'm thinking 200.
200.
Yeah.
now you're 200, I thought you told them last time 100.
I know, but I was thinking they're not going to go bad.
600, 700, yeah.
What?
Nothing.
Where do we get them?
I was just gonna get them from the Dollar Tree. I'll just,
order it.
yeah, I'm just gonna get them from, it'll be
I'll
good.
sponsor you. Sponsor it.
Well, it's considered a recreation event now.
Oh, okay.
So we're good, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a communications person quit, so I'm just waiting for our city manager to get back so that I have access to that flyer and so
Oh,
I can
okay. All
post
right.
it. So
All right. Well, do you know how they created it?
it was on, yeah.
Was it one of those Canva or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but the city has an account, so I don't want.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, because I can get yours and play with it.
No, I can obviously
All right.
do that. I just have to be able to
right.
log into it.
So that was it, I think. I just think it'd be nice to have like that invitational,
It is. It's a little bit of, It's-
Not once a month, just like every 3 months, every 4 months to do the count, Okay,
Yeah.
that's all I have. All right. Anything else from anybody? Okay. So I don't know what time it is. Is it?
8:23.
So I need a motion to adjourn. It's 8:23.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Cook to adjourn at 8:23, seconded by Commissioner Hunter. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. See you next month.